The fluorescent lights of the diner buzzed like angry wasps, casting their sickly yellow glow over the cracked vinyl booths and sticky linoleum floors. I could smell the grease from the fryer mixing with stale coffee and the faint trace of bleach I'd used to mop the floors an hour ago. My feet ached in my worn sneakers, the kind you buy at discount stores when your daughter needs new shoes more than you need comfortable ones. Emma. My 5-year-old reason for everything. My reason for standing here at 9 p.m. on a Friday night, smiling at customers who didn't see me, collecting tips that barely covered rent. I wiped down the counter for the 3rd time, watching the clock. 10 more minutes until my shift ended. 10 more minutes until I could catch the bus home, relieve Mrs. Chen from babysitting duty, and collapse into bed beside Emma's warm little body. Sarah. Diane's voice cut through my exhaustion. She emerged from the kitchen, her bleached hair pulled back in a messy bun, makeup smudged under her eyes. Girl, you look dead on your feet. Just tired. I forced brightness into my voice. Long week. Long year, more like. She leaned against the counter, lowering her voice. Listen. Me and some of the girls were talking. You need to get out. Have some fun. When's the last time you went on a date? My hands stilled on the rag. Diane. I know. You're busy with Emma and work and life. She grabbed my arm, her acrylic nails pressing into my skin. But seriously, there's this guy. Nice guy. Stable job. My cousin knows him. We could set something up. Tomorrow night. Just dinner. Everything in me wanted to say no. The last nice guy had given me Emma and a broken promise, disappearing before she was born. But Diane's eyes held something I couldn't quite read. Excitement mixed with something else. Something that should have warned me. I don't know. Come on. It's just one dinner. We'll even watch Emma for you. Me and Lisa. We love that kid. She squeezed my arm. You deserve something good, Sarah. Just this once. Let someone take care of you. The words hit harder than they should have. Let someone take care of you. When was the last time anyone had? I thought of my empty apartment, my endless shifts, the way I fell asleep calculating bills in my head. Okay, I whispered. One dinner. Diane's smile stretched too wide. Perfect. Tomorrow, 7 p.m., Russo's on 5th. Wear something nice. She bounced away before I could change my mind, leaving me with a creeping sensation that I'd just made a terrible mistake. I owned one dress, a simple black number I'd bought secondhand for a job interview 2 years ago. It hugged my thin frame, emphasizing the weight I'd lost from skipping meals to make sure Emma ate. I stared at my reflection in the cracked bathroom mirror, barely recognizing the hollow-eyed woman looking back. Mama, you look pretty. Emma bounced on my bed, her blonde curls flying, like a princess. Thanks, baby. I kissed her forehead, breathing in her strawberry shampoo scent. You be good for Miss Diane, okay? The cab ride to Russo's ate into money I didn't have. The restaurant materialized out of the downtown darkness, sleek, modern, with soft amber lighting spilling from floor-to-ceiling windows. Definitely not my usual territory. My stomach twisted. This was a mistake. I should have turned around then. Instead, I pushed through the heavy glass door into a world that smelled of expensive wine and fresh herbs. The hostess, tall, elegant, dripping with the kind of casual confidence that came from never worrying about rent, looked at me with thinly veiled disdain. Reservation? I'm meeting someone. I think the reservation is under... I realized I didn't know his name. Heat flooded my cheeks. I'm sorry, I don't... Sarah? A man approached. Thin, nervous-looking, with wire-rimmed glasses. Hi, I'm Martin, relief mixed with disappointment. He seemed nice enough, if utterly forgettable. Hi, table for 2, he told the hostess, who led us through the restaurant. I felt it before I saw him. A shift in the atmosphere, like the pressure drop before a storm. Conversations quieting, the clink of silverware becoming subdued. My skin prickled with awareness as we passed a corner booth, and I made the mistake of glancing over. He sat like a king holding court, surrounded by men in expensive suits that couldn't hide their predatory alertness. but he was the sun they all orbited. Young, maybe early 30s, with dark hair swept back from a face that belonged on magazine covers or movie screens. Sharp jawline, full lips, eyes so dark they looked black in the ambient lighting. Those eyes locked onto mine. The world tilted. I stumbled, catching myself on a chair. Time stretched, elastic and strange, as his gaze traveled over me, clinical, assessing, burning. One of his companions leaned in to whisper something, but he lifted a hand, silencing them without looking away from me. "Miss?" The hostess's irritated voice broke the spell. "Your table?" "Sorry." I hurried after her, my heart hammering against my ribs. Our table was across the restaurant, but I felt his stare like a physical touch on the back of my neck. Martin was saying something about his job in accounting. I nodded mechanically, unable to shake the feeling of being watched. Hunted. So I told my boss that the discrepancy was clearly in the third quarter reports, and, "Sarah, are you listening?" "Yes, sorry." I reached for my water glass, my hand trembling slightly. Third quarter. Martin's expression shifted, annoyance flickering across his bland features. "Look, I should be honest. Diane and the girls, they kind of set this up as a joke, something about the desperate single mom needing a confidence boost." He laughed, the sound cruel in its casualness. "No offense, but you're really not my type. I just came for the free meal." The words landed like slaps. The restaurant noise faded to white static. I sat frozen, humiliation burning through my chest, my throat, my face. "But hey," Martin continued, already checking his phone. "Maybe you'll meet someone else here. Place like this, you never know." I should have stood up, should have walked out with whatever dignity I had left, but my body wouldn't cooperate, locked in shock and shame. Then a presence materialized beside our table, and the air changed. Expensive cologne, something dark and woody, with an underlying sharpness, like smoke and danger. A shadow fell across Martin's face. "You're in my seat." The voice was smooth, accented slightly. Italian, I thought, and absolutely laced with threat. I looked up into those black eyes, now fixed on Martin with an intensity that made my date's face drain of color. What? "No, this is our table. You misunderstand." The stranger's lips curved in something that wasn't quite a smile. "I'm not asking." Two men in dark suits appeared behind him, silent as ghosts. Martin scrambled up so fast his chair toppled backward. "Look, man, I don't want any trouble." "Then leave." Martin practically ran, leaving me alone with this beautiful, terrifying man, who slid into the vacated seat with liquid grace. Up close, he was devastating. High cheekbones, a small scar through his left eyebrow, those impossible eyes now focused entirely on me. "You have terrible taste in men." His accent wrapped around the words, making them sound like silk hiding steel. My voice came out barely above a whisper. "I didn't choose him." "No?" He tilted his head, studying me like I was a puzzle to solve. "Someone did this to you, set you up. Humiliation as entertainment." It wasn't a question. Heat prickled behind my eyes, but I refused to cry. Not here. Not in front of him. "It's fine. I should go." I started to stand, but his hand shot out, catching my wrist. Not hard, but firm enough to stop me. His skin was warm, his grip sending electricity racing up my arm. "Sit! I don't even know you." "Dante." He released my wrist but didn't break eye contact. "And you are Sarah. You work at Mel's Diner on 7th. You have a daughter, 5 years old, blonde hair. You take the number 12 bus home every night, and you count your tips 3 times before you put them in your purse." Ice water flooded my veins. "How do you—" "I know everything that happens in this city." He leaned back, somehow making the simple movement look dangerous, including pathetic pranks on single mothers who deserve better. A waiter appeared, the same one who'd been ignoring my attempts to get water earlier, now nervously presenting a bottle of wine I couldn't pronounce. Dante waved him away with a gesture that spoke of absolute authority. "I should go," I repeated, but my voice wavered. "My daughter is with Diane Murphy and Lisa Torres. They're at your apartment. She's fine." He paused. "For now." The threat was subtle, but unmistakable. My blood ran cold. "What do you want?" "Dinner." He signaled, and suddenly staff materialized around us. Menus, wine, appetizers appearing as if by magic. "You came here to eat, so eat." "I can't afford." "You're my guest." His eyes glittered with something I couldn't name. Consider it compensation for being made a fool of. Every instinct screamed at me to run. But where? He knew where I lived, where Emma was, and something in his voice, beneath the threat, held a strange kind of protection. Like he was genuinely offended on my behalf. "Why?" The question escaped before I could stop it. "Why what? Why do you care? You don't know me." Dante was quiet for a long moment, his gaze traveling over my face with an intensity that made my skin flush. "No," he finally said. "But I'm going to." The words settled over me like a trap springing shut, and somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew my life had just changed forever. The food arrived in waves, dishes I couldn't pronounce, plated like art. Dante watched me with those predatory eyes as I picked at the first course. Some kind of delicate pasta that probably cost more than my weekly grocery budget. "You're not eating." He took a sip of wine, the gesture elegant and controlled. Everything about him was controlled, I realized. Every movement calculated. "I'm not hungry." "You're always hungry." He said it matter-of-factly, no judgment in his tone. "You give your portions to your daughter. You eat what's left, which is never enough." My fork clattered against the plate. "Stop. Stop acting like you know me. I know you work 60-hour weeks at minimum wage. I know your ex-boyfriend was Marcus Chen, who ran up debts with the wrong people and disappeared, leaving you pregnant and alone. I know you're 3 months behind on rent and your landlord is threatening eviction." He leaned forward, his voice dropping. "I know you're drowning, Sarah, and you're too proud to ask for help." Tears blurred my vision. "How do you know all this?" "Because Marcus Chen stole from me." Dante's expression darkened, something cold and lethal flickering across his features. $20,000. He was a courier, trusted with a delivery. He took the money and ran. "Do you know where he is?" "No." The word came out choked. "I haven't seen him since I told him I was pregnant. He just disappeared." Dante studied me for a long moment, then nodded slowly. "I believe you." "Are you going to hurt me? Because of what he did? Hurt you?" Something that might have been amusement touched his lips. "No, Cara. You're the only innocent thing in this entire sordid situation." The endearment, Italian, tender, sent a shiver through me. "Then what do you want?" "I told you. Dinner. Conversation." He gestured to my untouched plate. "Eat, please." I forced myself to take a bite. The flavors exploded on my tongue. Rich, complex, perfect. My traitorous stomach reminded me I'd skipped lunch and breakfast. I ate another bite, then another, aware of his satisfied gaze. "Tell me about Emma." The question caught me off guard. "Why?" "Because when you say her name, you stop looking like you want to disappear." My chest tightened. No one had asked about Emma. Not really. Not like they cared. She's everything. Smart, funny, curious about everything. She loves dinosaurs and refuses to wear anything but the purple dress I bought her at a thrift store. She thinks I hung the moon. You did. Dante's voice softened almost imperceptibly. For her, you did. We ate in strange silence after that. I became hyper-aware of everything. The soft clink of his silverware, the way his fingers curled around his wine glass, the occasional murmur of his security team communicating through hidden earpieces. Twice, men approached the table with urgent whispers, and twice, Dante dismissed them with a sharp gesture, his attention never leaving me. "The women who set you up," he said, as dessert arrived. "Something chocolate and sinful. Do you want me to handle them? Handle them?" My pulse quickened. "What does that mean?" "Whatever you want it to mean." His expression remained neutral, but danger radiated from him like heat. "A warning. A lesson. They humiliated you publicly for their entertainment." "No." The word came out firm, They're not good people. But they don't deserve— I couldn't finish the sentence, couldn't voice what I suspected he was capable of. You're merciful. He said it like he was observing an exotic creature. Even to those who hurt you, I just want to be left alone, to take care of my daughter and survive. Survival isn't living, Sarah. It's all I can afford. Dante reached into his jacket, and every instinct screamed danger. But he simply pulled out a sleek black card, sliding it across the table. Your rent. 3 months. Consider the debt paid. I stared at the card like it might bite me. I can't accept this. It's not a gift. Marcus stole from me. You suffered because of it. This is restitution. I didn't steal anything. No. But you're paying his debt anyway, aren't you? Every day, every shift, every meal you skip. He pushed the card closer. Take it. My hand trembled as I reached for it, pride warring with desperate need. 3 months' rent. 3 months of breathing room, of not lying awake calculating impossible math. 3 months of Emma having enough to eat. There's always a price, I whispered. What do you want from me? Dante's smile was slow, dangerous, beautiful. I haven't decided yet. The restaurant emptied around us. I hadn't noticed how late it had gotten, how the other diners had gradually disappeared, leaving us in our own private bubble. Dante's security maintained a perimeter. I counted 6 men now, positioned at exits and corners, their eyes constantly scanning. I need to get home, I said, checking my phone. 11:30, past Emma's bedtime. Guilt twisted in my stomach. My driver will take you. I can catch the bus. At midnight? Alone? His eyes hardened. No. You can't just order me around. I can, and I will. Especially when it concerns your safety. He stood, buttoning his suit jacket with practiced ease. Come. I should have argued, should have insisted on my independence. But exhaustion weighed on me, and the thought of waiting at a bus stop in the dark made my skin crawl. I let him guide me out, his hand hovering at the small of my back. Not quite touching, but close enough to feel the heat of his palm through my thin dress. The car waiting outside was something from another world, sleek, black, windows tinted so dark they looked like mirrors. A man in a suit opened the back door, and Dante gestured me inside. The interior smelled like leather and expensive cologne, all soft ambient lighting and surfaces that probably cost more than I made in a year. Dante slid in beside me, filling the space with his presence. The door closed with a heavy thunk, sealing us in intimate darkness as the driver pulled into traffic. You're really scared of me, he said it quietly, observing. Should I be? Probably. His fingers drummed against his thigh, the first nervous gesture I'd seen. But I don't want you to be. What do you want, Dante? Really? He turned to face me fully, and in the passing streetlights, his features shifted between shadow and illumination. I want to understand why seeing you with that pathetic excuse for a man made me want to break his jaw. I want to know why you've been on my mind since I first saw you 2 weeks ago at that diner, serving coffee to men who don't see you. I want to know why— He stopped, jaw clenching. I want things I shouldn't want. My heart hammered. 2 weeks? I was there for a meeting. You brought me coffee. Said, have a nice day, with this tired smile that didn't reach your eyes. His voice dropped. And I couldn't stop thinking about it, about you. That's insane. Yes. He laughed, the sound dark. It is. The car stopped outside my building. A rundown walk-up in a neighborhood where sirens provided the nighttime soundtrack. Dante's expression tightened as he surveyed the area, disgust flickering across his features. You live here? Not everyone has a choice. Defensiveness sharpened my tone. No, but you do now. He pulled out his phone, typed something rapidly. Pack your things. You and Emma are moving. Excuse me? I grabbed the door handle. I'm not moving anywhere with you. I don't know you. This, whatever this is insane. His hand caught my wrist again, that same firm gentleness. Sarah, listen to me. Marcus Chen had enemies beyond me. People who don't care about innocence or children. People who might decide that you know where he is, where the money went. Ice flooded my veins. I told you. I don't know. I believe you. They won't. His thumb traced a circle on my pulse point. The gesture strangely tender. Let me protect you. Both of you. Why? The question came out desperate. Why do you care? I don't know. The admission seemed to cost him, but I do. And when I want something, I take it. When I protect something, his eyes bore into mine. I do it absolutely. The apartment door opened above us, and Diane's face appeared, backlit and curious. I jerked away from Dante, my heart racing. I have to go. Tomorrow. I'll send someone. No, I scrambled out of the car, my legs shaky. Thank you for dinner. But I can't. The card. This is crazy. I ran before he could respond, taking the stairs 2 at a time, aware of his gaze following me until I disappeared into the building. Diane met me at my apartment door, her expression strange, part guilty, part excited. So? How was your date? I pushed past her into my tiny living room. Emma was asleep on the couch, her blonde hair spread across the worn cushions, one hand clutching her stuffed dinosaur. The sight of her settled something in my chest. It was a joke, wasn't it? The whole thing. You and Lisa and the others. You set me up to laugh at me. Diane had the decency to look ashamed. Sarah, it wasn't like that. Get out. We were just having fun. Get out. I held the door open, my voice shaking. And don't come back. She left in a huff of protests and excuses. I locked the door behind her, leaning against it as exhaustion crashed over me. The black card felt heavy in my purse. A tangible reminder that tonight had actually happened. I carried Emma to our shared bed, tucking her in carefully. She stirred, mumbling something about princesses and dinosaurs, and my heart clenched. Everything I did was for her, every humiliation, every double shift, every moment of grinding poverty. All of it was to give her a chance at something better. But Dante's words echoed in my mind. Survival isn't living. I pulled out the card, studying it in the dim light. 3 months' rent. 3 months of not drowning. 3 months bought with money connected to whatever dark world Dante inhabited. I should throw it away, should pretend tonight never happened. Instead, I tucked it into my wallet and tried to convince myself that everything would go back to normal tomorrow. I was still trying to believe that lie when I finally fell asleep, unaware that across the city, Dante sat in his penthouse office, staring at security footage of me entering my building, his expression unreadable as he made a single phone call that would change everything. Find Marcus Chen, he told whoever answered, and start surveillance on the girl. 24/7. If anyone goes near her or the child, I want to know immediately. He ended the call, then pulled up another image, a grainy security photo of me from the diner, smiling that tired smile that had haunted him for 2 weeks. Cosa mi stai facendo, he murmured to the empty room. What are you doing to me? But he already knew the answer. He was falling. And for a man who controlled everything, the loss of control was the most dangerous thing of all. Morning came with Emma's excited squeals and the reality of consequences I wasn't ready to face. I'd used the black card online at 2 a.m., my hands shaking as I typed in my landlord's payment portal. 3 months' rent. Just like that. The confirmation email felt like a pact with the devil. Mama, can we have pancakes? Emma bounced on the bed, her purple dress already on despite it being barely 7 a.m. Sure, baby. I kissed her nose, breathing in her innocence. Go brush your teeth first. She scampered off, and I reached for my phone. 12 missed calls from Diane. 3 from Lisa. A text from my manager at the diner asking if I was coming in for my shift. Reality, trying to drag me back to the script I'd been following for 5 years. Then another text, from an unknown number. The building on 5th and Lexington. Apartment 12C. Keys are with the doorman. Move in today. My blood ran cold. How did he get my number? Another text followed immediately. Don't be stubborn. I'm having your building inspected. The violations alone could get it condemned. I typed back furiously, you can't just order me around. His response was instant, watch me. I wanted to scream. Instead, I made Emma pancakes with the last of our mix, watching her eat with syrup-sticky joy while my mind raced. Part of me knew I should run, take Emma and disappear like Marcus had. But where? With what money? And Dante's words haunted me. Marcus had enemies, people who might decide you know something. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered, my hand trembling. Buongiorno, cara. Dante's voice poured through the speaker, smooth and warm and absolutely certain I would obey. Did you get my messages? You can't make me move. I can. I am. Papers rustled on his end. Your current building has 18 code violations, including black mold in the walls and a heating system that's one winter away from killing someone. Emma deserves better. Stop using my daughter. I'm protecting your daughter. His voice hardened. Something her father never did. Something you're too proud to let anyone else do. The accusation hit home because it was true. I swallowed hard. The apartment, it's a trap, isn't it? You get me there, isolated, dependent. It's a 2-bedroom in a secure building with a doorman working heat, and no drug dealers in the stairwell. He paused. You can leave any time. The lease is in your name, but the building has security, cameras, guards. If anyone comes looking for you, I'll know. This is insane. Yes. We've established that. I heard a smile in his voice. My men will be there at noon to help you pack. Don't argue. They're coming regardless. Make it easy on yourself. He hung up before I could respond. They arrived precisely at noon. 3 large men in expensive casual wear that couldn't hide their dangerous efficiency. Emma peeked around my legs, eyes wide. Mama, who are they? Moving helpers, baby. I forced brightness into my voice. We're going to a new home. The tallest one, late 30s, scar across his knuckles, offered a surprisingly gentle smile. Ma'am, I'm Luca. Mr. Russo sent us to assist with the move, Mr. Russo. So that was Dante's last name. I don't have much to pack. That's fine. We'll be quick. They were. Professional, efficient, treating my secondhand furniture like it mattered. Wrapping Emma's toys with care, Luca carried boxes while the other 2, Marco and Tommaso, disassembled my bed frame. Emma watched, fascinated, asking questions they answered with patient amusement. Is Mr. Russo your friend? She asked Luca, holding her dinosaur. He's my boss. Is he nice? Luca's expression flickered, something between respect and fear. He's fair, and he protects his people. Are we his people now? Emma's innocent question made my stomach clench. Yes, Luca said simply. You are. The new building was everything my old one wasn't. Gleaming lobby, actual working elevator, hallways that smelled like fresh paint instead of mildew. The doorman greeted us with professional courtesy, handing me keys with a quiet, "Welcome home, Ms. Chen." Apartment 12C was on the top floor. Luca unlocked the door, and I stepped into a space I could never afford. Hardwood floors, large windows flooding the rooms with natural light, a kitchen with appliances that actually matched. 2 bedrooms, just like Dante promised. One already set up with a bed, dresser, and toys I'd never seen. For the little one, Luca explained, seeing my expression. Mr. Russo wanted her to feel at home. Emma squealed, running to explore her new room, complete with a shelf of books, stuffed animals, and a purple comforter that matched her favorite dress. My throat tightened. He's buying us, I whispered. He's providing for you. Luca's tone held no judgment. There's a difference. The men unloaded our meager belongings, making them look even more pathetic in this beautiful space. When they finished, Luca handed me a phone, sleek, new, expensive. Your number's the same, but this one's secure. Mr. Russo is contact number 1. Emergency services are 2. I'm 3. You need anything, groceries, repairs, security concerns, you call. I have a phone. Not one he can track to make sure you're safe. Luca met my eyes. He's serious about protection, Ms. Chen. Don't fight it. They left, and suddenly I was alone with Emma in an apartment that felt like a gilded cage. She was thrilled, jumping on her new bed, exploring every corner. I stood in the living room, holding the secure phone, understanding that I'd crossed a line I couldn't uncross. The phone rang. Number 1. Tell me you're not going to be difficult about this. Dante's voice held amusement. What am I supposed to tell people? My friends. You have no friends. You have coworkers who set you up for humiliation. Brutal honesty. And you're going to tell them you got a better job, better apartment because you did. I didn't apply for any job. You're applying now. My restaurant, Russo's, where we met, head server position, better hours, better pay, better tips. You start Monday. I sank onto the couch, overwhelmed. You can't just rearrange my entire life. I can. I am. I will continue to do so until you understand that you don't have to struggle alone anymore. His voice softened. How's Emma? The question disarmed me. She loves the room, the books, the purple comforter. Good. Satisfaction warmed his tone. And you? I'm terrified. Of me? Of this, of whatever this is, of what you'll want in return. Silence stretched between us. Then, have dinner with me. Tonight. Bring Emma. That's not... I have a niece her age. They can play while we talk. Really talk. He paused. Please, Sarah. Let me prove I'm not the monster you think I am. You're a criminal. I said it flatly. You run... What? Organized crime? Violence? You threaten people. Yes. No denial. I'm also a man who hasn't stopped thinking about you since you handed me coffee with sad eyes and a smile that broke my heart. A man who wants to understand why everything in me says you're mine to protect. I'm not yours. Not yet. The promise in those words sent heat racing through me. Dinner? 6 p.m. I'll send a car. He hung up again, leaving me shaking and furious and inexplicably thrilled. The car arrived at exactly 6 p.m., the same sleek black vehicle from before. But this time, a woman sat inside, stunning, mid-30s, with warm brown skin and kind eyes that crinkled when she smiled at Emma. Hello, you must be Emma. I'm Rosa. My daughter Isabella is so excited to meet you. Emma clutched my hand, suddenly shy. I brought my dinosaur. Isabella loves dinosaurs. She has 12 of them. Rosa's warmth was genuine, infectious. Emma relaxed slightly. The drive took us outside the city to an estate that made my breath catch. Wrought iron gates, manicured grounds, a house that was practically a mansion. Security was everywhere, discreet but obvious. We were escorted inside to a living room bigger than my entire old apartment. Then I saw him. Dante stood by floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a garden, dressed casually in dark slacks and a white shirt with rolled sleeves that revealed forearms I had no business noticing. But it was the little girl holding his hand that stopped my heart, maybe 6 years old, dark curls, wearing a dinosaur shirt. Uncle Dante. Is that her? The girl's voice was pure excitement. Yes, Piccola. That's Emma. The girls sized each other up for exactly 3 seconds before Isabella grabbed Emma's hand. Want to see my dinosaurs? I have a T-Rex that roars. They disappeared with Rosa in a whirlwind of giggles, leaving me alone with Dante in a room that suddenly felt too small despite its size. Isabella is your niece? My sister's daughter. Sophia lives in Milan, but Isabella spends summers with me. He moved closer, each step measured. I thought Emma might like a friend her age, and I wanted you to see that I'm not just what you think I am. And what do I think you are? A monster who takes what he wants. He stopped inches away, close enough that I could smell his cologne, feel the heat radiating from him. But I'm also an uncle who reads bedtime stories, a brother who would die for his sister, a man who's capable of more than violence. You're still dangerous. Yes. His hand lifted, fingers grazing my cheek with devastating gentleness, but never to you, never to Emma. I should have stepped back, should have maintained distance. Instead, I stood frozen as his thumb traced my cheekbone, his dark eyes searching mine. Why me? The question came out barely a whisper. You could have anyone. Why choose a broke single mother with nothing to offer? Because you look at me like I'm a man, not a monster or a myth. Because you have fire beneath all that fear. Because... He stopped, jaw clenching. Because when I see you, I see something worth protecting, worth keeping. Worth. A crash from upstairs, followed by children's laughter. The spell broke. Dante's hand dropped, but his gaze remained intense. Dinner's ready, he said quietly. Let me feed you properly. Both of you. The dining room was more intimate than I expected. A table set for 4, food that smelled incredible, soft music playing. Isabella and Emma chattered about dinosaurs while Rosa served, her presence a comfortable buffer. Dante sat across from me, occasionally correcting Isabella's table manners with gentle firmness that made my chest ache. This man who commanded fear in the streets was patient with a 6-year-old's questions. This criminal who'd threatened my former co-workers cut Emma's chicken into careful bites when she struggled. "Uncle Dante, can Emma come over again?" Isabella asked through a mouthful of pasta. "If her mama says yes." His eyes found mine. "We'd like that very much." Emma looked at me with hopeful eyes, and I felt the trap closing. Not cruel, but inexorable. This life he was offering, safety, comfort, a friend for Emma, a man who looked at me like I mattered, but at what cost? After dinner, Isabella took Emma to her playroom, leaving us alone on the terrace under a sky full of stars I'd never seen in the city. "Tell me about Marcus," Dante said, his voice carefully neutral. "Why?" "Because he's the shadow between us, because I need to understand." I wrapped my arms around myself. "I met him at a party. He was charming, exciting, said all the right things. I was young and stupid and believed him when he said he loved me. The words tasted bitter. Then I got pregnant, and suddenly I wasn't exciting anymore. Just a burden. He left before Emma was born. I haven't heard from him since. Did you love him?" "I thought I did. Now I think I just love the idea of someone wanting me." I met Dante's eyes. "Why does it matter?" "Because I need to know if your heart's still his." He moved closer, backing me against the terrace railing. "I need to know if there's space for someone else." My pulse hammered. "Dante, I'm not him." His hands gripped the railing on either side of me, caging me in. "I don't make empty promises. I don't abandon. When I claim something," his voice dropped, rough with intensity, "I keep it. I protect it. I own it completely. I'm not something to own. No. You're someone to cherish." His forehead touched mine, his breath warm against my lips. "Let me, Sarah. Let me give you everything he never could." I was drowning in his nearness, his certainty, the promise of safety I'd never known. One word, and my life would change irrevocably. But before I could speak, his phone buzzed. He cursed in Italian, checking the screen. His expression hardened instantly. "What is it?" "Marcus." He showed me a photo, surveillance footage of a man I recognized despite 5 years of absence. "He's back in the city, and he's asking questions about you." Fear turned my blood to ice. "What kind of questions?" Dante's jaw clenched, fury radiating from him, the kind that mean he knows about Emma, and he wants something. The world tilted. I gripped the terrace railing, Dante's warmth suddenly the only solid thing in a reality that had just fractured. "He knows about Emma? He's been watching you." Dante's voice was deadly calm, the kind of quiet that preceded violence. "My sources say he approached one of your former co-workers yesterday, asked about your schedule, where you live, if you have family helping you. Diane." The name came out choked. She set me up for that date. She would tell him anything. She did. He pulled up another message, showed me a transcript. Diane's words, selling me out. Sarah's desperate, behind on rent. No support system. She'd probably take him back if he showed up with cash. Betrayal burned through my chest. But fear was stronger. Why now? Why after 5 years? Dante's expression was grim. Because 20,000 doesn't go far when you're running from people like me. He's broke, desperate, and he thinks you're his way back to easy money. I don't have any money, but I do. His hand cupped my face, thumb stroking my cheekbone, and he's going to find out you're under my protection. Which makes you valuable. Makes Emma... He stopped, jaw clenching so hard I heard his teeth grind. "I won't let him touch either of you, Mama?" Emma's voice drifted from inside. "Can we have dessert?" I forced my expression smooth, stepping away from Dante. "In a minute, baby." But she'd already appeared in the doorway with Isabella, both girls holding hands, faces bright with the easy joy of new friendship. Emma looked so happy, so carefree. The thought of Marcus poisoning that innocence made rage join my fear. You girls go wash your hands, Rosa called, appearing behind them. Then gelato. They raced off, giggles echoing. Rosa met my eyes, something understanding in her expression. She knew. Of course she did. She was part of this world. Dante's phone rang. He answered in rapid Italian, his tone sharp with command. I caught fragments. Surveillance, intercept, containment. Words that painted a picture of the machinery moving around me, invisible forces mobilizing. He ended the call, his attention returning to me with laser focus. I'm moving you both, tonight. What? No, we just moved. That apartment was temporary, a test to see if you'd accept help. His hand found the small of my back, guiding me inside. Now you're going somewhere Marcus can never find you. Somewhere I can guarantee your safety. Where? Here. He gestured to the mansion around us. With me. I jerked away. Absolutely not. Sarah. You want me to move into your house with my 5-year-old daughter? Are you insane? My voice rose. I don't know you. This whole thing, it's been 3 days. 3 days since you forced your way into my life, and now you want me to... I want you alive. The words cracked like a whip. I want Emma safe, and the only way I can guarantee that is if you're where I can protect you every second. By trapping us here? Making us prisoners? By giving you a home? His voice softened, but his eyes remained intense. Guest wing. Separate entrance. Your own space. You can leave whenever you want, with a security detail. Emma can play with Isabella. You'll work at the restaurant. Live your life. But you'll sleep under my roof where I know you're safe. This is crazy. Yes. He stepped closer, his presence overwhelming. But Marcus is crazier. He's desperate, which makes him dangerous. He's Emma's biological father, which gives him potential legal standing if he decides to use it. And he's already proven he'll use people and disappear when things get difficult. His hand caught my chin, forcing me to meet his eyes. I won't give him the chance to take her. Or hurt you. The thought of Marcus trying to claim Emma, my daughter who he'd abandoned before she was born, ignited something primal in my chest. He has no right. Rights don't matter to desperate men. Only opportunities. Dante's thumb traced my lower lip, the gesture possessive and strangely tender. Let me eliminate the opportunity. From the kitchen, Emma's laughter rang out, pure and sweet. Isabella was teaching her some Italian phrase, their voices blending in childish joy. My baby. Happy for the first time in so long. 1 week. The words escaped before I could stop them. Trial basis. If it's not working, you can leave. He agreed immediately. But you won't, because you'll see that this is where you belong. The certainty in his voice should have terrified me. Instead, it sent heat pooling low in my stomach. The move happened with military precision. Dante's men retrieved our belongings from the apartment, the one I'd lived in for exactly 12 hours, while Rosa showed Emma and me to the guest wing. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a sitting room with a television and bookshelves, luxury I couldn't process. This is like a castle. Emma bounced on the bed in her new room, bigger than our entire old apartment, with the same purple comforter from before, and a window overlooking gardens that looked magical in the moonlight. It's temporary, I told her, trying to convince myself. Mr. Dante said I can come visit Isabella whenever I want. She hugged her dinosaur. He's nice, Mama. Why do you look scared? Because I am, I thought. Because I'm falling into something I don't understand with a man who terrifies and thrills me in equal measure. I'm not scared, baby, just tired. I tucked her in with stories and kisses, watching her drift off with a smile I hadn't seen in months. When I finally retreated to my own room, decorated in soft creams and golds, with a bed that looked like a cloud, I found clothes in the closet, designer labels, my exact size, ranging from casual to elegant. A note sat on the dresser in bold, masculine handwriting. You deserve beautiful things. D. I should have been angry, should have felt violated by the presumption. Instead, I ran my fingers over silk and cashmere, fabrics I'd only ever touched while folding laundry at rich women's homes during a brief cleaning job 3 years ago. A knock at my door made me jump. It's me, Dante's voice called. Can I come in? I opened the door to find him holding 2 glasses of wine, still in his dress clothes, but with his tie gone and top buttons undone. Dangerous and beautiful, and looking at me like I was something precious. "Thought you might need this." He offered a glass. I took it, our fingers brushing. "Thank you. For everything today. The clothes, the room, Emma's happiness. You don't need to thank me for things you deserve." He leaned against the doorframe, studying me. "Are you comfortable? Do you need anything?" Answers. I took a sip of wine, rich, complex, probably worth more than I wanted to know. "Why are you really doing this? Don't say protection. Men like you don't upend their lives for strangers out of pure altruism." His smile was slow, predatory. "No, we don't." "So, tell me the truth." He was quiet for a long moment, swirling his wine. "When I was 15, my father was killed by a rival family. They came to our home, murdered him in front of my mother and sister. I was at school. I came home to blood and sirens and a world that had ended." His voice remained steady, but pain flickered in his eyes. "I swore that day I would never be powerless again. That I would build an empire where I controlled everything, where nothing could touch me or mine. I'm sorry. I became exactly what I needed to be. Ruthless, strategic, feared." He met my gaze. "But I also became isolated, surrounded by people who want things from me, fear me, or both. And then you handed me coffee with this exhausted kindness that expected nothing in return. You looked at me like I was just a man." My throat tightened. "I didn't know who you were." "Exactly." He pushed off the doorframe, stepping closer. "You saw me, not my reputation. Not my money or power, just me. And when that idiot humiliated you in my restaurant, something in me..." He stopped, jaw clenching. "I wanted to destroy him. Wanted to burn down the world for making you feel less than extraordinary. That's not healthy. No, it's obsession." He said it calmly, like announcing the weather. "I'm obsessed with you, Sarah, with the way you sacrifice everything for Emma. With your stubborn pride and quiet strength, with the way you flinch from kindness like you've forgotten you deserve it." I backed up a step. "You don't know me well enough to be obsessed." "Don't I?" He advanced, matching my retreat. "I know you take your coffee black because milk is an extra expense. I know you sing while you clean, always the same sad love songs. I know you count to 10 when Emma throws tantrums, because someone once told you anger isn't productive. I know," his hand cupped my face, "that you haven't let yourself want anything in 5 years, because wanting feels dangerous. Stop." The word came out breathless. "Why?" "Because you're making me want things I can't have. You can have everything." His forehead touched mine, his breath warm against my lips. "Say yes. Stop fighting. Let me give you the world. What do you get in return? You. Simple. Devastating. In my home. In my life. Eventually." His thumb traced my lower lip. Heat flooded through me. "I can't. Emma, I know. I'm not rushing you." His lips brushed my temple, feather light. "But I want you to know my intentions. I want you, Sarah. All of you, and I'm a patient man when I need to be. And if I say no, then I'll wait. Protect you anyway. Give you space." His smile was dark. "But I'll also make sure you see what you're missing. Every day. Every moment. Until you realize that you want this too." A phone buzzed. His. He cursed, stepping back to check it. His expression hardened instantly. "What now?" "Marcus just tried to access Emma's school records." His voice was cold fury. "He's trying to establish paternity." The wine glass slipped from my hand, shattering on the hardwood floor. "He can't. He has no right. He has biology." Dante's jaw clenched. "Which is enough for a custody petition if he plays it right." "No." The word tore from my throat. "He abandoned us. He doesn't get to..." "He won't." Dante pulled me against his chest, his arms iron bands around me. "I promise you, Sarah, he won't touch her. I'll bury him before I let that happen." "You can't kill him. That would make everything worse." "I don't need to kill him. His voice was deadly soft. I just need to make him disappear, permanently. Legally. I pulled back to look at him. How? Leave that to me. His hand stroked my hair, but I need you to trust me. Completely. Can you do that? Every rational part of me screamed no. But the desperate mother in me, the exhausted woman who'd fought alone for too long, whispered yes. What do you need me to do? Tomorrow you'll meet with my lawyers. They'll file for full custody with a restraining order. We'll document the abandonment, the financial neglect, everything. His eyes bored into mine, and you'll let me put security on Emma. Permanent, invisible, but there. She's 5. She'll notice. She'll think they're friends, drivers, teachers, whatever story we need. His grip tightened. But she'll never be alone, never unprotected. I swear it on everything I am. The vow settled over me like a blanket, warm and suffocating. Okay? Okay? I trust you. The words felt like surrender, like falling. Help me protect her. Something blazed in his eyes, triumph, possession, something deeper I couldn't name. You're mine now. You understand that? Once I protect something, I don't let it go. I'm not a possession. No. You're something far more precious. He kissed my forehead, the gesture tender despite the intensity in his voice. You're mine to cherish, mine to keep, mine to... Emma's scream shattered the moment. We both ran, Dante pulling a gun from somewhere I hadn't seen, his entire demeanor shifting to lethal focus. He reached her room first, weapon raised, then froze. Emma sat up in bed, tears streaming down her face. Mama, I had a bad dream. Just a nightmare. Just my baby scared in a strange place. I rushed to her, gathering her into my arms while Dante holstered his weapon with shaking hands. It's okay, sweetheart. Mama's here. There was a monster, a bad man. She sobbed into my shoulder. He wanted to take me away. My eyes met Dante's over her head. His expression was murderous. No one's taking you anywhere, I whispered, rocking her. You're safe. I promise. Dante knelt beside the bed, his voice gentle despite the fury in his eyes. Your mama's right, Piccola. You're safe here. Nothing bad can reach you. Emma peeked at him through tears. Promise? I promise. He touched her blonde curls carefully, like she was made of glass. And I never break my promises. She believed him. Children have instincts about these things. They know who protects and who pretends. She settled back into my arms, her breathing evening out. Mama, can you stay until I fall asleep? Of course, baby. I lay beside her, stroking her hair, singing the lullabies that always worked. Dante stood guard at the door, silhouetted against the hallway light, watching over us both with an intensity that should have frightened me. Instead, it made me feel safer than I had in 5 years. Emma drifted off, her small hand clutching mine. I tried to slip away, but Dante shook his head, gesturing for me to stay. So I did, lying in the purple-comforted bed, watching my daughter sleep while a Mafia boss stood sentinel. Eventually, exhaustion claimed me too. My last conscious thought was of dark eyes promising protection and possession in equal measure, and wondering which one terrified me more. I woke to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar windows and the sound of children's laughter drifting from somewhere below. Emma's side of the bed was empty, the purple comforter thrown back. Panic seized me before I registered the giggles. Happy. Carefree. Safe. I found them in the garden, Emma and Isabella chasing each other through a maze of rose bushes while Rosa sat on a bench nearby, reading. My daughter wore a new dress, pale yellow with tiny flowers, her hair brushed and braided in a style I'd never mastered. Mama, she ran to me, throwing her arms around my waist. Rosa made pancakes, and Isabella showed me the koi pond. Can we get fish, Mama? Please? Before I could answer, Dante's voice came from behind me. There's coffee on the terrace. We need to talk. He was already dressed for business. Charcoal suit, crisp white shirt, that aura of controlled power that made my pulse quicken. His eyes tracked over me, taking in my rumpled sleep clothes, and something heated flickered in their depths before he schooled his expression. The terrace held breakfast for 2. Coffee, fresh fruit, pastries that smelled like heaven. But I couldn't eat. My stomach twisted with anxiety. Marcus filed a petition this morning, Dante said without preamble, sliding a folder across the table. Emergency custody hearing. Claims you're an unfit mother living in unsafe conditions with a dangerous criminal. The words hit like physical blows. He can't. I've given her everything. He has photos. Your old building, your shifts at the diner, documentation of your financial struggles. Dante's jaw clenched. Someone's been helping him build a case. Someone who knows the system. Who? A lawyer named Richard Voss. Connected to families I've had dealings with. This isn't about Emma. It's about getting to me through you. I gripped my coffee cup so hard it should have shattered. So I'm a weapon. A tool to hurt you. Yes. He didn't soften it. But that also means I can end this. Permanently. How? Dante pulled out his phone, showed me a screen full of financial records. Marcus Chen owes money to 3 different organizations: gambling debts, loan sharks, and a particularly nasty crew out of Brooklyn. Total, $95,000. He doesn't have that kind of money, no. But someone offered to clear his debts in exchange for filing that custody petition. Dante's smile was cold. They wanted to force my hand, make me choose between protecting you and maintaining business relationships. What are you going to do? I'm going to buy his debts, all of them. Consolidate them under my control. He leaned back, utterly calm. Then I'm going to offer Marcus a choice. Disappear forever and have everything forgiven, or refuse and face the consequences of owing me $95,000 he can never repay. The ruthlessness of it stole my breath. And if he refuses, he won't. Dante's voice held absolute certainty. Because I'll make him understand that the alternative is much worse than simply walking away. You mean you'll threaten him? I mean I'll show him exactly what happens to people who try to take what's mine. His eyes locked on me. And you are mine, Sarah. Emma is mine. Anyone who threatens that will learn why my name inspires fear. I should have been horrified. Should have grabbed Emma and run from this man who spoke of violence and possession like they were love. But all I felt was relief, dark, desperate relief, that someone finally cared enough to fight. When? My voice came out steady. When will you do this? Today. My lawyers are already preparing the counter-petition. Full custody to you. Restraining order against Marcus. Documentation of abandonment and financial neglect. By tonight, this will be over. Just like that. Just like that. He stood, buttoning his suit jacket. In the meantime, you're staying here. Emma too. No work today. I've already called the restaurant. You can't just... I can. I am. I will continue to do so until you understand that your safety is non-negotiable. He moved around the table, his hand cupping my face. Trust me, Kara. Let me handle this. His thumb stroked my cheekbone, and I found myself leaning into the touch despite everything. What if it doesn't work? What if he fights anyway? Then I'll destroy him. Simple. Final. But it won't come to that. Marcus is a coward who runs when things get difficult. I'm simply giving him an easier path to run. He kissed my forehead, a gesture that was becoming familiar, possessive, and left me on the terrace with cold coffee and a mind spinning with implications. The day passed in surreal domesticity. Rosa taught Emma how to make fresh pasta while I watched, numb with anxiety. Isabella chattered about school and ballet and her uncle's horses at his country house. Everything felt too normal, too perfect. While somewhere in the city, Dante was orchestrating Marcus's destruction. My new phone buzzed constantly. Luca checking in, security updates, notifications from accounts I didn't remember opening. Money appeared in my bank account, transferred from sources I didn't question. The machinery of Dante's world operated around me, invisible but omnipresent. At 4 p.m., Dante called. It's done. My knees weakened. I sat on the edge of Emma's bed, gripping the phone. What happened? Marcus signed a termination of parental rights 30 minutes ago. Notarized, filed, legally binding. His voice held grim satisfaction. He also signed a sworn statement admitting the abandonment and releasing all claims to Emma in exchange for debt forgiveness. He just agreed. Once I explained his options, yes, quite quickly, actually. A pause. He's leaving the city tonight. If he ever returns, if he ever tries to contact you or Emma again, The debt reinstates with interest and penalties he could never pay, so it's over. I couldn't process it. 5 years of fear, 5 years of looking over my shoulder, and it was just over. It's over. Gentleness crept into his tone. You're free, Sarah. She's safe. No one can take her from you. The tears came then, huge, gasping sobs of relief I'd held back for so long. Emma looked up from her pasta making, concern on her sweet face. Mama, are you sad? No, baby. I wiped my eyes, smiling through tears. Happy. I'm so happy. Dante's voice came through the phone, rough with emotion. I'm coming home. Wait for me. He hung up, and I sat there shaking, Rose's hand warm on my shoulder. He's a good man, she said quietly. Dangerous, yes, but good where it counts. He'll take care of you both. I barely know him. You know enough. You know he'd burn the world to keep you safe. For some women, that's everything. Dante arrived as the sun set, striding into the house with an energy that made the air crackle. He found me in the library, curled on a window seat watching Emma and Isabella play in the garden below. Hey. He sat beside me, still in his suit, but with his tie loosened, sleeves rolled up. You okay? I don't know what I am. I looked at him. This beautiful, dangerous man who'd upended my life in less than a week. You made my daughter safe. How do I thank you for that? You don't. His hand found mine, fingers intertwining. You just stay. Let me keep you safe. Both of you. For how long? Forever. He said it simply, like promising forever was normal. I told you. When I claim something, I don't let go. Dante, I'm in love with you. The words stopped my heart. I know it's insane. I know it's too fast. I know you probably think I'm confusing obsession with love, but I've never felt this before. This need to protect, to provide, to wake up every morning knowing you're safe and happy. You can't love me. We've known each other less than a week. I've known you for 2 weeks, watched you for most of it, learned everything about you. His free hand cupped my face. I know this is overwhelming. I know I'm asking too much, but I'm done pretending this is just about protection or responsibility. What is it about then? You. His thumb traced my lower lip. Your strength. Your love for Emma. The way you keep fighting even when you're exhausted. The way you look at me like I'm both dangerous and safe. His voice dropped. The way you make me want to be a better man. You threatened someone today, probably terrified him. I protected what's mine. There's a difference. His forehead touched mine. I won't apologize for that. This is who I am, Sarah. Ruthless when I need to be. Violent when there's no other option. But never with you. Never with Emma. How can I trust that? Because you already do. His lips brushed mine, barely a touch. You're still here. You let me move you. Protect you. Handle Marcus. You trust me with your daughter. The most precious thing in your world. He was right. Somewhere between the fear and the relief, I'd started trusting him. Started believing that beneath the dangerous exterior was a man who meant what he promised. I'm scared, I whispered. Of me? Of this. Of feeling too much too fast. Of what happens when you realize I'm just ordinary, poor, broken. You're extraordinary. He kissed me properly then. Soft, deep, devastating. And you're mine. Say it. Dante, say you're mine. His hand slid into my hair, tilting my head back. Say you'll stay. Say you'll let me love you the way you deserve. I'm terrified you'll break my heart. Then I'll spend every day proving I won't. Another kiss. Harder this time. I'm not him, Sarah. I don't run. I don't abandon. I protect what I love with everything I have. What if it's not enough? What if Emma gets hurt because of your world? She won't. Steel entered his voice. I have security protocols for everything. The best schools, the best protection, a life where she'll never want for anything. She'll be safer than 99% of children in this city. And me? You'll be cherished, protected. Loved so completely you'll forget what it felt like to be alone. His eyes blazed with intensity. Say yes, Kara. Stop fighting this. I looked out the window at Emma, laughing in the golden sunset light, happier than I'd seen her in months. Then back at Dante, this impossible man offering impossible things. Yes. The word felt like jumping off a cliff. I'm yours. His smile was incandescent. Say it again. I'm yours. Stronger this time. We both are. He kissed me until I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, could only feel the rightness of his hands on my skin, his promise of forever wrapping around me like armor. When he finally pulled back, his expression was possessive and tender. I'm going to marry you. That's insane. I'm going to marry you, he repeated. Give Emma my name. Make you both mine in every legal way possible. His thumb stroked my cheekbone. But I'll wait until you're ready, until you believe this is real. And if I'm never ready, then I'll wait forever. He stood, pulling me with him. But you will be. Because every day, I'm going to show you what it means to be loved by me. 3 months later, I stood in Dante's bathroom, our bathroom now, in the master suite I'd finally agreed to share, staring at a positive pregnancy test with shaking hands. Emma and Isabella's laughter drifted from downstairs where Rosa was supervising a tea party. Dante was in his office, handling business I no longer asked about because I'd learned to trust that he kept that world separate from ours. I heard his footsteps on the stairs, the confident stride that made my heart race even after 3 months of waking up beside him. He appeared in the doorway, already pulling off his tie. Hey, beautiful. How was your day? His smile faded when he saw my face. What's wrong? I held up the test wordlessly. He stared at it, expression unreadable. Then a slow smile spread across his face, joy so pure it took my breath away. You're pregnant. I'm pregnant. My voice shook. I know we talked about wanting this eventually, but I thought. He crossed the room in 2 strides, lifting me into his arms and spinning me around. This is perfect. You're perfect. Dio, Sarah, we're having a baby. You're happy? Happy? He set me down, his hands cupping my face. I'm ecstatic, terrified, already planning nurseries and security protocols, and he laughed. I'm completely overwhelmed and I've never been happier. What about Emma? Should we tell her tomorrow? Tonight I want you all to myself. His lips found mine, the kiss deep and claiming. Tonight, I want to celebrate that you're giving me everything I never knew I needed. We made love slowly, carefully, his hands reverent on my still flat stomach. Afterward, wrapped in expensive sheets with his heartbeat steady beneath my ear, I let myself believe in fairy tales. I love you, I whispered. I should have said it before, but I was scared. I know. His arms tightened around me. But you're not scared anymore? I'm terrified. But I love you anyway. Good. He kissed my hair. Because you're stuck with me now, forever. Forever turned out to be exactly what I needed. 2 years later, the wedding was small, just family and close friends in Dante's garden under a canopy of white roses. Emma stood as my maid of honor in her purple dress, holding her baby brother Marco, while Isabella scattered petals. Sophia flew in from Milan with her husband, embracing me like the sister I'd never had. I walked down the aisle in a simple white gown, designed by someone whose name I still couldn't believe, toward the man who'd saved me without realizing I'd saved him too. Dante's eyes held everything: love, possession, promise, forever. When he slipped the ring on my finger, his voice was rough with emotion. You're mine, now and always, and you're mine, I whispered back. The kiss sealed something that had been inevitable from the moment he'd ordered a nervous man out of his seat and decided that a broken single mother was worth fighting for. We danced under the stars while Emma and Isabella giggled, and Marco slept in Rosa's arms. Dante's hand splayed across my lower back, possessive and protective as always. Happy? He murmured against my ear. I looked around, at our children, our family, our home, at the life I'd never dreamed possible, built from the ashes of humiliation and fear, deliriously. Good. He spun me, then pulled me close. Because I plan to keep you that way for the next 60 years. Only 60? Forever then. His smile was the one reserved only for me, soft, genuine, full of the love he'd promised that first terrifying night. I'll keep you happy forever. And he did. Because when Dante Russo made a promise, he kept it. Absolutely. Completely. Forever. The girl who'd counted tips 3 times and skipped meals to feed her daughter had become a wife, a mother, a woman loved so fiercely she'd forgotten what it felt like to be invisible. And the Mafia boss who controlled an empire with an iron fist had learned that the most powerful thing he'd ever possess was the heart of a woman brave enough to let him love her. Our story started with a cruel prank and a chance encounter. It became a fairy tale written in protection and possession, sealed with promises kept and a love that conquered every fear. Some might say we moved too fast, loved too recklessly, built our foundation on dangerous ground. But standing in my husband's arms under a sky full of stars, our children laughing nearby and forever stretching before us, I knew the truth. Sometimes the most beautiful things are born from the darkest moments. Sometimes love finds you when you've stopped looking. And sometimes, just sometimes, the dangerous man becomes the safest place to fall. This was our ending, our beginning, our forever. And it was perfect.